Our last round of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series was the toughest of all, the Snowshoe Ski Resort in West Virginia. And as always, the conditions were a great equalizer and led to a breakthrough first-time win for Jared McClure. This season has been wide open. What's coming next? Okay, Grand National Cross Country race fans, the Parts Unlimited Unadilla GNCC marks the end of the 2015 summer break. It's fall, it's time to go racing. The legendary Unadilla Valley Sports Center. It's the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Maxxis, an AMA National Championship. There's Adam McGill. He's been leading the point standings for the majority of this year, but Walker Fowler has been closing the gap. Stretch run is upon us with 4 races to go. A real showdown brewing between those two. They appear that they're going to take the title away from Chris Boric, who is your 6-time and defending champ. If he wants title number 7, he's going to have to end this season in a flurry. Those are just a few of the storylines as we go racing at Unadilla. This is, I believe, the biggest GNCC we've ever had, looking at 2,000 plus entries on hand this weekend. And out of all of them, looks like McGill's got the best start. No, Boric almost there. It is going to go to McGill. $250 Amsoil hole shot. He's got Boric right behind him. A couple other riders getting jammed in there in the second turn. But McGill is going to show everyone his dust on the Lone Star Racing CST tire blocks. DeRisi Racing PirateMX.com ride. And everyone else trying to figure out the good lines through here. Don't worry about the dust in the woods. The shade trees have kept the dirt nice and moist, and McGill is out front looking good. Totally different line here for Boric. He's even going to come back into camera range. Yes, he is. That's what I want to see from the Maxxis Fly Racing back Boric as Fowler has climbed to third. Let's get the champ in on this. Battle these guys for the wins like the old days. Could happen. He seems to have a little bit of pep in the step today. But McGill is so tough to beat when he gets out front. Rides the momentum so well. And he's already sprinted away from the Yamaha boys. And who's it going to be? Who will be in second? Look at the lead that McGill has. Well, this is something special and not what I expected. That is Fowler now in the number 2 spot, ahead of Boric. But they've got a good 30 seconds to make up on McGill. Now, Unadilla is known as a motocross track, and it's got some real high-speed, fast stuff that links you to it, just about onto the moto track right now, but you can see those hill climbs in the woods. It has typical cross-country fare as well. Yeah, a little flare for McGill over that jump. You can tell he has come out of this break fired up. Lead is down to just 9 points for him after a tough 9th place finish at Snowshoe. It was our previous race, and he was battling for the lead with Jared McClure and Fowler for a lot of that one, but had some bad luck down the stretch. Fowler finished second and closed into the points. Oh, nice 360 camera angle there as we watch Boric and Fowler through the switchbacks. I believe we have Bryson Neal and McClure up here as well. Woo, wide line. And to the left-hander, it's like the old Saturday night dirt track racing instead of cross-country there in that section. McGill doing what he does best. When he has the early lead, he just keeps that machine floating over the bumps. Hits stuff really hard, and you think he's going to have a problem. He just stays so relaxed. See, everything's a little bit sharper, a little bit harder on these two guys, and that's not the equipment setup. That's just the way McGill rides. He's so loose on the machine. And we've had a few moments throughout his career where he just gets in the zone and is hard to stop. And if you're Walker Fowler, you do not want that to happen today. All right, thinking better of the big sky shot jump is McGill. They put this chicane in here to try to prevent the riders from getting to drive to jump it. Now we've seen, whoa! And Fowler, I think, wanted to enter it so hot He has jumped this thing before, and he still goes for it, gets about halfway. There have been years in the past where Fowler has even whipped the machine, gotten it sideways in midair. Not easy to do on a four-wheeler. Now into some fresh terrain. Fowler has closed it up on McGill just a bit. Here's Boric in third. Third, not where he wants to be. Of course, he'd like to be in the lead, but he just looks to be a little bit stronger, a little bit more aggressive, a little bit quicker today. And old school Chris Boric, third place early would be good enough. Just keeps himself in position and then goes for the win late. Still see Neal and McClure. Here it is again, just floating above the terrain is McGill, but Fowler's making some tracks on him now. And normally any hanging back that you see early in these races, I think the points are just too close at the moment. Hey, Neal has gotten around Boric. So as those two up front, like I said, the points are so close, I think they just feel the urgency. They put a little distance on everyone else, and Boric has been zapped by Bryson Neal on the B. Neal Motorsports machine. Who's he kicking up the dust here? It's McGill. So out of the woods, the conditions change tremendously. But I think the action is just heating up because Fowler is closing the gap. Title contenders are going to battle today in New York. They've left everyone else playing catch-up. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Now Walker Fowler into the lead on the NFAB and Pro Yamaha and hauling at Unadilla. McGill trying to respond. So that was a quick switch up. And Bryson Neal, how about it? The Ohio native has 2 podiums this year, and he would like more. He'll have to battle your defending series champ Chris Boric and Jared McClure, the winner of your last race, to do it. McClure backed by ATVRiders.com. Good friend Harlan Foley. Those two used to race each other actually in the old 4-stroke stock class in our 10 a.m. morning race. Foley, his photography and website, that became kind of a full-time deal for him, so he actually started sponsoring McClure. And McClure has steadily worked his way up through the ranks here at this number 4. Finally got his first career victory at our last event. And don't count him out today. They call him the Sneaky Snake. Although I'll tell you, McGill pretty sneaky here. He has retaken the lead from Fowler. Still not jumping the sky shot. Fowler thinking better of it as well. That chicane, they just don't have the drive, and that's on purpose because these machines are not set up suspension-wise like their motocross quads are. And although these two riders have the experience to get through these sections safely, a lot of times you get riders that don't ride motocross, don't know the Unadilla track. They just come out of a corner wide open, and then by the time they realize they're headed toward a huge jump, it's too late. So to cut down on the danger factor, they put in some of those chicanes. Still plenty of places to wind it out, though, like through the pits. And that's where McGill is opening up a little bit. Fowler just into the dust zone now. And he's going to have to remount the attack. And B. Neal Motorsports is Bryson Neal, making that machine look good. Here he is toward the sky shot. Boric and McClure still right there. So a nice little matchup between a young kid, obviously a veteran and proven champion, and McClure, not quite a veteran, not quite a noob, somewhere in the middle of that. Good news for the riders is the wind today is pushing the dust off the track, and you see McClure trying to get inside on Boric. It's amazing the lead that the front two have, because if you watch these three riders, they are on the gas. I mean, look at Neal, he's going fast. But we see it time and time again. Last year it was between Boric and Fowler. This year it's between Fowler and McGill. Points on the line. Final stretch of 4 races, and these two go to the next level. The intensity of this championship has made them up the pace. And if you're Neal, maybe you'll be there someday. Maybe you'll be the one battling for a title. Same thing with McClure. Right now, they're just looking for podiums or to take advantage if these two push each other too hard. No change in the order, although it looks like it could change at any time. I mean, McClure is trying every line he can find to get around Boric, and still no dice. All right, here's McGill. Is he back out front? Yes, he is. Great racing today. What's that, 3 lead changes between these two? And powering into these berms. I think he's just having a good time, and when he's having fun, that's when McGill is at his best. Look at the lead. And apparently Fowler decided to stop in his pits to make an adjustment to his steering stabilizer. Don't normally see that. Can he catch back up? Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Big downhill we have. Adam McGill has the lead over Walker Fowler. Fowler stopped in the NFAB Ampro Yamaha pit to adjust his steering stabilizer. And the basics that we have is the track is so choppy, he decided to stiffen it, I believe. And we'll see if that pays off. He lost some time and the lead. These are long 2-hour races, and when the track is this rough, having the machine working the way you want it, you might save so much energy that you can make that 15 seconds back up. Well, the ever-steady Jared McClure has taken third away from Bryson Neal. Chris Boric right there in tow. Great racing, but McClure able to seize control of it at the moment. This is where it's going to get tough for McGill. He's dealing with the lap traffic. If Fowler can get him back within sight, and he's almost there, it's going to be advantage Fowler. He's going to feel like the adjustments he made to his machine were right, and when you can see the rider in front of you, when you've caught it, oh, it's just a huge jolt of confidence. And it's hard to lead these things because of lap traffic, and it looks like Fowler has caught back up. Oh, and perfect by Fowler. That rear end kicked right into the left-hand corner that he needed to make. Let's see how it works out for McClure. Man, these guys are battling. Yeah, same thing. A little kick for Boric, puts it right where he wants it. Lap traffic continues to slow McGill in the worst section possible in that chicane. That's going to cost him a ton of time, and Fowler airing it out, getting a little bit closer. Another lapper for McGill to handle. He gets around him quick. But whatever advantage he gained when Fowler stopped in the pits, it's almost all gone, and we're going to have another battle for the lead between these two. Gotta love this racing action at Unadilla. Little mud hole, not too bad. And I think Fowler now is just measuring McGill, not ultra aggressive, trying to save some energy. The seize part now for McClure. And Boric right ahead of Bryson Neal. If you're Neal, though, you are learning at the hands of the master. If you battle it out with Chris Boric all day, you're going to get some stuff for your notebook. Oh, I have the feeling this is the calm before the storm. Fowler's where he wants to be. McGill's not going to make it easy on him. Expect a furious fight to the finish between these two and, well, heck, these three also for the podium. McClure, Boric, Neal, they're not going anywhere. Great racing in Unadilla, that's what we love. It's the AMSOIL Grand National Cross Country Series. Stay with us. Adam McGill headed for daylight. Can he extend the points lead? 2 to go. Racer TV is brought to you by AMSOIL and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Walker Fowler has taken the lead. Second time he went to break and he managed to get it from McGill. McGill's going to have to find something special. Now in old school GNCC parlance, these guys wait until the last lap to pull out some of the real special lines. They don't want to use them all day and give them away. Oh, but Fowler He's just been special as far as speed goes, getting away from McGill now. And McGill, meanwhile, using one of those special lines, getting desperate, all the way at the top of the ridge and trying to make up ground on Fowler. Now that could have been a passing line if he was close enough, but he's not. Battle continues between McClure and Boric. Little gap now between they and Bryson Neal. Here's Fowler onto the moto track. Will he take the risk on the big jump? He's upshifting, he's going for it! Oh! Almost got to the end. But good to see the suspension setup is spot on there. Didn't really bottom as hard as I thought he would. And you try to set up a quad for motocross jumps and those rock sections that we have in the woods, you're going to make compromises in all directions. So a lot of times I think they just go for the wood setup. And you won't see that level of aggression on the motocross track. But Fowler, he's a young kid. He's not afraid to hang it out. Lap traffic is now Fowler's problem to deal with. And this could be McGill's last chance to get back in it. The lappers slowed him up when he had the lead. Can he take advantage? Can he be the sneaky snake and repass Fowler down the stretch? You hear the riders hollering and yelling, trying to get the lappers out of their way. That's Fowler on the number 2 that just scooted by. Here comes McGill on the gas. And he's hanging it out for sure. But I don't know if there's enough in it. White flag will be on its way out now. Fowler holding it down. Now this wouldn't be enough to take over the points lead, but it'll basically slice that 9-point lead that McGill has in half. We'll go from 9 down to 4. That's if it doesn't change. Of course, the last lap of these races, as we said, old school GNCC, this is where the race really begins. And McGill knows that he is still trying to find some way to keep pressure on Fowler and try to get a mistake out of him. Maybe throw the lead away and all those points. And McGill has ridden so well. There's just so much traffic on this course. It's a very popular event, as we mentioned, a record number of entries. And the track just a smidge shorter than most rounds. They don't have quite the woods to deal with that some of the other races do. But you trade that to have the awesome Unadilla motocross track. And great areas for spectating, pitting, parking, camping. To the top of the mountain goes Fowler. Again, riding so well as McGill, but Fowler just that much better, just has a little edge. Fowler giving the thumbs up. McGill still charging hard, now leaping onto the motocross track is Walker Fowler out of Ohio. Kid is a GNCC racer through and through. Raced not only ATVs in the youth and amateur ranks growing up, but actually started in the series on a bike, and he was good at it. Was her overall youth champion one year and had a factory Yamaha ride on bikes before he did on ATVs, but everyone around him, and I think Walker himself, recognized that he was really good on a bike, but he has the potential to be all-time on the ATV. And he made the decision in 2009 to go full-time on 4 wheels, won a couple of the XC2 titles, well, actually tied one year and lost a tiebreaker to Brian Wolf, and then swept the series the next year. And everyone was waiting for days like this. A big lead now, and an opportunity to get that much closer to that elusive XC1 title. He came so close last year with Boric. Boric able to edge him. This year, a great challenge from McGill, but down the stretch as of late, Fowler has had something special, got a win at the John Penton GNCC. Came up second at Snowshoe to McClure, but has been steadily making up ground on McGill in the series standings. The beginning of the year, not quite what Fowler wanted. He won round 1, had some bad luck after that. McGill's opened up the points lead, but it's going to be down to almost nothing after this one. Oh, how about this? Classic Chris Boric last lap shenanigans, taking it away from McClure. And It's not quite taking the lead away like it used to be for Boric, but a podium sure would feel good for him. Meanwhile, here comes Fowler, looking for his 5th win in 10 rounds this year. Fowler takes Unadilla. Here we go. Had to get out of that rut to do the wheelie properly. Where is McGill? Where's McGill? We suddenly see Boric and McClure, but I didn't see Adam McGill in there. Wait a minute, this is a championship disaster for your series leader. Chris Boric going to take 2nd. 3rd goes to McClure. And here it is. Engine problems late, and the fans, they call themselves the McGill Mafia, and there is Adam himself. They're going to try to push the machine to the finish. Now, I'm not sure the rules on this. Look at this crew. Now, I believe they can push the machine to the line, but it has to be pushed across the finish by the rider, and yes, it's uphill. So are they going to have what it takes? McGill is pushing by himself, and he gets it across the line. High drama here at Unadilla. The damage is done in the series standings, though. That was a sure 2nd place, and McGill's going to end up 7th. Good job, Landon Wolf in the top 5. Johnny G, Johnny Gallagher 6th. Braden Henthorne, Jay Shadron, Josh Merritt, your top 10. Those are your Rocky Mountain ATV MC results in this Parts Unlimited GNCC AMSOIL race recap. Well, early on, there's the McGill Mafia. They're cheering their guy on. He had the lead. He wanted to extend that points gap, but he and Walker Fowler would go at it. A couple of lead changes. Fowler even stopped at the pits at one point to adjust his machine, then caught back up. Behind him, a great 3-rider battle for what we thought would be 3rd, but it ended up being 2nd. Fowler takes the win. McGill has equipment problems. He has to push across the line, which makes Fowler not only the race winner, but the points leader. McGill's going to have to fight back next week.